Assalamu alaikum, guys.
It's your girl Hindu hapa. Assalamu alaikum, guys. It's your girl Hindu hapa. So welcome back to yet another episode of It's Your Girl Hindu and Other Stories. With me, your lovely host Hindu Hussein, and today we are privileged to have a guest with us. They're going to introduce themselves, and we know a bit too much about them at the end of this episode. So stay tuned, sip coffee, find a comfy spot, and enjoy the rest of the episode. Hi, so welcome to my show. I'm so grateful that you made time and umekuja. So welcome to It's Your Girl Hindu and Other Stories. So tell us, like, who are you, tujue na sisi, and my viewers get to know you a little better.
So first of all, Asante, thanks for having me. I'm very, very happy to be here. Finally, we made it. Mimi naitwa Ayla Noor. I've been coming and going to Lamu for about 2 years. Yeah, I love Lamu, and currently I'm doing some research here for my master's.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, I try to keep coming back to Lamu because I've made friends here. I love it, so that's why. So that's me. I'm 26 years old.
Too young.
Too young. I'm 26, and then my parents are from Turkey, but I was born and raised in the Netherlands.
Oh, so what's the one thing you get when you tell someone you are from Turkey?
The one thing I get, Osman Bey. Oh, Waturuk ni Waislamu. Ama si Waislamu. Ama ni Wazungu. And then they look at my skin color, and then I have to be like, no, you know, tuko na mix kama hapa coast, tuko na mix, yani meupe, meusi, hivi. And then they're like, oh, but yani they're Waislamu, lakini not that strict, sindio? And then I have to be like, no, it's like some of them are strict and some of them are less.
Yeah.
But then ukiangalia yani Uislamu ya Lamu too, it's like, oh, they think other countries maybe are not as strict, but pia sisi tunayo yani. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. And while you are introducing yourself, you said something about research. You are doing research in Lamu. How far is the research? Like, can we get a sneak peek of the research?
Sawa, sneak peek of my research. So here I'm in the last phase also of my research. So I'm almost done. So I have to wrap things up. Lakini in the beginning when I first came, during this field work, let's say, my research was initially about Islamic development.
Nice.
And then, because basically we have state development, we have the way Western governments and all the governments in the world talk about development, right, in a very standard way, let's say. And I was trying to see kama Lamu iko na a different way of developing because people treat each other differently. Tusaidiana, yani hivi. So that's what I was trying to find out, but it's very hard to capture. And then in all my interviews I kept hearing, you know, we have Islamu, alhamdulillah, but then we have a lot of problems. And what kept coming up is youth, and then especially boys, young boys, let's say. So I was like, Sawa, let me go in that direction. And then I started to interview Lamu youth, Sasa, and then basically getting their opinions and views about maendeleo ya Lamu.
That's good.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, nikianza na hiyo sentence, my research is about maendeleo ya Lamu, the standard reply napata ni, maendeleo ya Lamu, hakuna bana. That's it. That's the standard. Hakuna maendeleo. Maendeleo gani? Like that.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah,
like, could you tell us more of your research and how do you see it? Yako maendeleo ama you tell us what they say so that at least we know, because it's not going to be your opinion, it's going to be their opinion, compiled opinion, sio?
Exactly. Yeah. So the way
it's not like mzungu amekuja and now she knows better, you know?
Let's understand each other.
Tuanzie hapo.
But you know what the thing is,
Okay.
Pia in Yane, at this point in the Western universities,
Yeah.
you have to note those things down. You can't, Yane, it's not normal anymore for white Tama Western students to just come to a place and then just try to claim all the opinions as their own, and they know everything. Like that's becoming less and less normal.
Yeah.
So that's why I really, also in my research, eventually I'm gonna have to say, this is what people have told me. I'm not trying to, I ask very open questions so that I get every person's definition, every person's, the way they understand Mandeleo. I didn't even try to say what's Mandeleo. So we didn't define that, Sawa. So it's literally how anyone can respond to it.
So like, do you have like a standardized way of asking these questions? Ama you just ask randomly? How did you operate easy questionnaires? Yeah.
I did one-on-one interviews, and then at some point during the research, I started to have my standard set questions.
Okay.
And then, so basically it's bits about yourself, where were you born and raised, what was your career, education levels, because that's important. And then I ask people, what do you think are the problems of Lamu and the problems of youth that are holding back our Mandeleo, let's say. And then I turn it back into Sawa, and what are the good things tuko nazo yani, that we can use for development, that we can use in a good way.
Okay.
And then the last question I always ask is, kama wewe ni kiongozi, ungefanya nini, ungebadilisha nini, ungeanza nini, like that.
Okay.
So then that's the format I use.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's dig deep. Where do you want to start? Like the good of Lamu, ama the problems, ama the ideas? Where do you feel like you can flow kwanza?
I think to answer problems.
Okay, yeah.
Because funnily enough, sadly enough, that one I've gotten the most answers on. You know what I mean? Like people can, but then maybe it's just normal human behavior also. So like exactly, you just see the negative. So the first things, the number one, the very number one, obviously the very number one is mud drugs. Sadly. The way it's influenced society, the way it's influenced youth, and that it's very easy to get into it.
Access, yeah, true.
And then how people start younger and younger, Pia, these days, like that.
It's true and sad. Yeah. I actually, I agree.
Yeah, there's not, and also hakuna la kusema. Hakuna la kusema, it's just drugs, kweli.
That's it.
That one, but that one is by far, I would say that one is my number one answer. The one I get immediately. But then related to that immediately, ni mental health and idleness, and then lack of jobs, right? So those, I feel like those all go together also.
Okay,
so,
let me ask you. Is it just the Swahili tradition, ama is it common in your place that huku, like the boomers, because they are the parents of the millennials, so they really don't, like they feel like mental health is stupidity.
Oh yeah,
like you say you are depressed, they be like, but you have a house. you get, is it common ni huku tu, ama is it also there in that side of the world?
No, we also have that in that side of the world. Like at this point in the West, it's a bit more accepted as a real thing. Like there's more healthcare about it. But I would say back home, Turkey, it's maybe a bit less. Yani, you can still get the answer like, Kwani or depressed, just go and pray.
Yeah, I understand. And it's sad that if you read about the golden days of the Islamic stages, they had these asylums for people who had mental health. Like they did research, you get? And sadly we are in the 21st century and we have no, like we act as if these things were never there in our religion. We even have Ayyamul Huzn, like the year of sadness for the Prophet. It wasn't a day, it was a full year. Like being sad for a whole year, it's technically depression, you get?
Right.
But then, yeah.
Kikweli.
Anyway.
But now they pretend like it's a modern thing.
Yeah.
It's a new thing, right? Yeah, but true.
We've had it.
It's there.
Yeah.
But do you think, let me ask you a question. Yani, how do you think at this point we/Lamu people should be handling the mental health? Because it's such a big
that
thing.
That can be a whole episode. how to manage it can be a whole episode. But for those who have been following my episodes, I give snippets on how to tackle mental health. I do actually. People need to stay tuned for my episodes because I do give out ways of how to manage mental health better. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's already in your topics. Yeah. Exactly.
So, what are some of other problems you've discovered?
Some other problems that also immediately come up, again related to lack of jobs, it's idleness.
Okay.
Right? And then how a lot of Lamu youth are idling, not looking for anything for themselves, blah blah blah. But then sometimes I would encounter in my research that sometimes it would be called laziness. And then I take it down, obviously, because that's what someone's telling me, right? But then I don't think it's necessarily laziness. I think it's more complex than that.
Maybe they haven't gotten opportunities.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe they don't have the support, like, you know? Yeah.
I get you.
So that's why. What other things? Let's say into the idleness question, I think we can tie it to the entitlement part, Sasa. Lakini mimi nitanyamaza. I'm going to give Hindu this one. Yeah, exactly.
No, I get you. You know, we've already talked about these things. In entitlement, you mean, let me just say what's the opinions of the youth.
Right.
Youth have this idea that they want to have the best in life with the smallest amount of education or the smallest amount of investment. You get? They want the best life quickly. You get?
Exactly.
They feel like they are entitled to it.
Okay.
They're entitled to good life. Is that the opinion of the Lamu youth?
It's not yours.
Yeah, I know. Because I've kind of read through the research.
Yeah.
And that is what I've gotten. Like, they want quick fix.
Right, quick fix, exactly. And it's not like that doesn't make sense also, it makes sense, right? But then sometimes it will go a bit further than that and it will be like, because by the way, I've only interviewed Muslim youth also at this point, so it wasn't a mix, it was a majority Muslim, it's just Muslim youth. But then some of them will say, it's in our culture, also interesting point, it's in our culture that some of these jobs, sisi hatufanyi. You know what I mean? Like Waswahili are not necessarily going to do that job. So then, but then others will turn around on the same coin on a page and be like, oh, but others are lazy. Do you get what I mean? It's like, yeah. So
yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, but then Sawa, that's one of them, and then I think a big one also is people feel like hakuna umoja, right?
Okay.
So, and then some of them, what I've heard quite a lot is they'll give the example of Shela, how Shela people will more often try to do like communal decision making. They get together, they inform each other, blah blah blah. They have more discussions, open forums, maybe things like that.
But I also feel like for Lamu is a bigger, like Lamu hosts a lot of, like everyone from Lamu comes to Lamu. Okay, Amu comes to Amu.
Yeah,
you get?
yeah.
Here we don't only have Amu people, we have people from Beketoni, people from Shela, people from Lamu East, people from Kiunga, people, you get everyone who wants, it's like a trade center.
Exactly.
So it's hard to have communal decisions in like a trade center.
Kweli,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I feel like for Shela it's easy because most, like you could say 70% are people from Shela.
Right.
It's like having a communal decision in Faza.
Exactly.
It's going to be only, like, majority will be Faza people.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
But here in Lamu, we kind of have a mixture. We even tourists are not all from the same place. We have tourists from, foreigners from all over the world. It's rare to have the same in Faza, in Kiunga, you get?
Kweli.
So I feel like that's the reason why we can't have communal decision. But it's good that they view it as a problem. Okay, so the youth of Lamu, are they that generous? They didn't talk about the governing structures, or what did they say? How are you hiding?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not hiding. No. They said a lot actually. So the thing is, they feel like there's corruption on like at these higher levels, right? The way you said. And then, but then it's in all forms of governance.
Okay.
So it's, let's say, county, let's say, local leadership, let's say, imams, mashaykhis, so even to baka NGOs.
Oh,
yeah, so like those things are also, they come together. It's like, they feel like kuna corruption, yani, how do you say, watu wanajiangalia tu, let's like, and you just take for your own people.
For your own stomach.
Your own stomach, your own network. That's who you try to put on top, yani. It's but it's also the classic corruption story, kind of, right? Like it's.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, Hata, I want to mention. He's a corruption. Maybe it's more visible, huko, right? It's easy to see, maybe. Like in maybe in Napolisi, sijui, like it's more easy to see. Lakini also obviously sisi tuko nayo. Like we have the same. And then our corruption is on higher levels. There's more money involved, right? It's like still in the government, sijui consultancy, blah blah. Consultancy is corruption, bro. Sijui consultancy, we're getting all this tobacco, oil shell industries, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, they're influencing our politicians, but then the way the West will talk about corruption here is as if
they don't have it, they don't practice at all.
Exactly.
So,
but it's not like that, obviously.
Oh, it's the same.
It's the same.
But
Sisi pia tuko na corruption. Yeah.
Okay, but ile akule yenu imeenda group of schools, yetu imeenda public school.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, but to come back to what Lamu youth are saying, what would you say about that though? What would you say about that? Like the corruption, they see it on every level, but then also religious. Maybe we'd say religious corruption. They feel like in our Islamic institutions there is less.
It's true, yeah. The corruption is all over Squeezy. All over. You've talked about the government, the both governments, the county government, the national government. We are not scared to say that some things cannot go mpaka utoe kitu kidogo. Get it's common. It has been normalized. Like if you you get. So on the religious aspect, I have seen it. Like for example, mimi ni simple example. Mimi ni mtoto hapa Lamu. If I do nose ring, it's like I've said there are two gods.
Right.
You get, but if someone else comes with a nose ring, they're gonna be, she looks good. You get?
Yeah.
Double standards.
Exactly.
You get it?
Kikweli.
Yeah. And on NGOs, it's you could say some of the most. Okay, I don't want to say. I don't know. Like we've seen that some NGOs, take pictures for the donor, but
Right.
then the project dies quickly. And it shouldn't die that quickly. Get, if you really wanted to help your community, you will go extra. But for most of the NGOs, they do it for the picture, they send to the donor, they give money, they get money, and the story is yeah, that, so I get you. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I understood it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. So what did they say about family orientation? Am I they're okay with that?
No, there's a lot about family also that people will just all of this people just tell me themselves how I don't but it's the broadest questions and then these are the answers. So what a lot of people will say, and then this is not even only youth, obviously Niwaze also who say this, it's that there's no more communal parenting. So if I can, Zamani, I guess your neighbor, a nanny on the street, could discipline a child on the street. And then, Sahi, what I'm told, if you do that, a parent will come and bring you trouble. Kwani wampiga mtoto wangu, nini mtoto wangu? Mtoto wangu. Bado mtu actually, bado mtu mzima. But why are you hitting my child? And in that same sense also that Waze have stopped disciplining the youth.
Okay.
Like they're like
Shoriza.
Yeah, Shoriza, yani kila mtu ana maisha yake, I guess. So it's like
I also feel like the youth have rejected kuadvisiwa with the watu wazima. So the watu wazima you get, it could also be
exactly.
like that.
I think it's both ways, obviously. Yeah, I think it's both ways.
Okay.
Because it's clearly like some youth can say, our Waze don't do that anymore, right? But then will that youth accept?
Like there was maybe they tried to tell it to certain youth and they're like, we si mzazi wangu.
Yeah,
so
true.
the Waze can refract from it. They're like,
exactly.
Si mtoto wangu, you get. So
exactly.
I am on the side of the Waze.
The Waze on this one, yeah. So that's it for communal parenting, yani. But then that's a sad thing, yani. So youth will say, yani, it used to be more of a community where you are able to do that, yani. People can say this about their child, nini, and then a child is raised by everyone. Also, it's not one parent. I'm two parents too, and then the next one that we can get to is also the kubembelezwa sasa. Kubembelezwa. And
Bembelezwa parenting.
We called it bembelezwa parenting in our notes, Hapa. So yeah, bembelezwa parenting, and this one I think Kimimi, I found this one really interesting because I was like, oh Yane, the first time when you get to Lamu, because I've lived here for like longer periods, kidogo, right? But the first time, it doesn't, you don't notice it. Yeah, and obviously you're new, you don't know anything, like what am I supposed to notice? But then at some point when I realized this is a parenting style, and then especially with men, obviously,
the male child,
it started to become more apparent to me. Yani, nimeanza kuona, yani, like,
so let me ask.
Uliza.
Okay, nikuulize. You see the way like we were raised here is when a brother says to the parent, mimi nataka kutoka, nitachelewa kurudi. Like I am going to stay out, like I'm going to come back late at night. They just get sawa. And then if you are a lady, you want to go past 9, you have to have your visa ready, where you are going, who is going to be there, who are we going to contact, like it's a whole
their parents.
Exactly, a whole immigration process. Is it common huku ama is it common pia kwenu?
Pia kwetu is very common. Yeah, it's very common. Like me personally, I don't have brothers, so I was blessed with just all girl household. Alhamdulillah, but No disrespect to our men. But then it happens in our culture as well. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
So whatever happens in Kenya happens in Turkey and
there. Exactly. Yeah. Lakini niseme wazungu, they're different. Yeah, wazungu ni different. Yeah. Because they treat their kids a bit more like equals. Yeah.
No double standards.
Yeah. No. Yeah, well, yeah, they do have less, I would say.
Yeah. So the bembelezwa, such a funny term for you to learn. Tell us more about it.
Well, the bembelez, sawa, there's men who get bembelezwad, there is women who get bembelezwad. Bembelezwad. And obviously it's the same, so let me be, it also happens in my culture, same exact way. But then we talked about men, right? But then the way women will get bembelezwad is a bit like, I call it princess treatment. Kidogo. Yani you'll raise your child. Yeah, exactly. Your daughter like a bit like a princess kidogo. Yani. So, and then obviously, what is she gonna expect in her marriage? The same treatment. So
they are raised to feel like they need to get married to the best.
Yeah. Exactly. Like it's let me say, okay, you can be treated like a princess, obviously by your parents. That's fine. But then it's the specific thing to be raised like that in preparation for marriage.
It shouldn't be your whole personality.
Yeah. But then you are raised until, from a young age, you start thinking about sijui nini marriage, sijui.
Get my husband this.
Beauty, obviously. From a young age, you'll start to look at yourself. It's a lot of factors, obviously. It's not just parenting that lead to that. But then it's, there's a big marriage mentality, And I've countered that, and then the sad thing is, like, I've interviewed more men than I've interviewed women, but the women I've interviewed would give me this answer about marriage mentality hapa Lamu.
Okay. Yeah, that's sad. You shouldn't base your whole personality on a guy. You get, or you want the guy to give you all the happiness. You get, I understand. Yeah.
Na wewe waona vipi?
No, I concur with that.
Your mentality?
Your marriage mentality. I actually concur with you because if, like, you ladies end up seeing themselves as marriage material, so they don't like invest in the other parts of their body, like their brain for starters. You get, they just want to look pretty, and it's Mimi, it's my that vibe misses. And like, I want a lady who wants to, most of my friends, utaona, there are people who want to invest more in their brains, you get, not only in their beauty. I have no problem with you looking beautiful, you wanting to look beautiful, but it shouldn't be your whole personality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the same way I would connect another answer, actually, the way this bembelezwa parenting is there, right? At the same time, this bembelezwa parenting, it seems to, the way I get my answers again, it seems to go into the neglected part. So we are neglecting our youth. That's an answer I will hear a lot. So then examples are sawa, you can, some of these kids, they'll go ask their mom, sawa, nipe pesa, I'm gonna just nitangalia sijui relaxation yangu. And then they'll be given the money, and then mpaka usiku they're gone. Imagine, sawa. So then during that whole time, the parent doesn't know what's happening to the kid. And
they supply.
Exactly.
Like they are the financial.
The comfortability, I think, is still there. But so another answer, anyways, that came from that, I think we can tie together that youth also feel neglected. So they don't feel supported. They don't feel like kama tuko na viongozi who really care, ama who really, if you see a disturbed youth, what I've heard is the disturbed ones, we shouldn't be casting them out. You actually should be showering them with love and stuff, right?
True.
Yeah.
So neglected youth, how are they neglected? Yani, where does it start in neglection?
Where does it start? It starts, from what I've heard, a lot of it is also education. You also interview sometimes people, and then it's like, okay, let's say my parents are hustling, obviously, which is, we can recognize that, right? Like if they're hustling and they maybe themselves didn't get proper education, then how are they exciting me for my education? It's hard. And then about the whole education topic in general, what I kept hearing, education in Lamu is difficult. Like it's a difficult thing. And also I feel like the way I've heard men speak when I interview them is like, you have a bigger chance of being a problematic child when you're a boy in Lamu. Like you're a boy going to school, and the need to act out, I think, is a bit bigger. But then at some point, maybe you can go to Mombasa, maybe you can go to outside, kupata education in Guinea, and then what you usually see is patatulia. You know what I mean? So it's a bit like, I wonder what that is. Like, in comment, but it's like that, you know? So education is always also a really big answer I always get. And then I think tying into education, this one I haven't, about reading culture, right? And then this is an answer I haven't gotten a lot, but it's still important also because my own background, when I initially came to Lamu, it was about research about Swahili manuscripts. So Kiarabu, like old, from Ustad Mao, from Liane, back when the poetry and all of that was really more practiced, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We were so rich in that aspect.
Very,
And then all of a sudden, we don't have.
It's like, but then, it's just sad. Like this huge, the poetry reading, writing culture, it was there, and it's been on the Swahili coast for how many years? Like centuries, literally. But then I think today the way youth are talking, it's like, because education also doesn't excite you for that. It's not like the education system here in Kenya is like exciting you to go and write your poetry, right? And then in the, let's say, on the island life, also you're busy hustling. Let's say again, the hustling part, you know what I mean?
No, but as you said, like Zamani, poetry was so rich that someone can just come and tell you a poetry and you answer it there and then.
Exactly.
You create it there and then. So after that, it's when they write it down. So,
right.
So it needs that, huwezi jibu there and then if you've not read. So reading culture was there back in the days, but siku hizi it's not there. That's why I feel like peer talent maybe.
Exactly, and then also the reciting, maybe it's less. Like I think Zamani, it used to be, there also used to be more attention on who could recite the best, right? I think. And then tying into that, a big part is that youth feel, basically it's a feeling unseen, unheard, right? And then that goes into talent mismanagement. So people who are so good at football, at swimming, at all of that, and there's so many skills, so many intelligent, bright minds, obviously, but they feel like it's not like, they feel like they're never going to get scouted, it's never going to be seen, it's never noticed. Maybe if you score the highest in your KCPE exam, sawa, right? That's like, but then Ningine, the other talents, this culture talent, maybe, I don't know where that goes.
I get you. Like we have a lot of we have a lot of died talents, dreams under the beds. Like you get a guy very good with football, let's say, and the football is not maximized. Kisha, they go to neglected youth and then they sadly go to drugs.
Exactly.
You see, that's the cycle, Yani.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because I think all of these things are cycles anyways, like na hata mimi siwezi criticize sana. I'm just giving back what I've heard, right?
Yeah, true.
And then it's a cycle, but I think maybe because of that cycle, in the end, youth get stuck in there. The world closes, it becomes smaller, and that's how people will say, then youth, watanijibu mimi, they're close-minded. Tukuna close-mindedness. And people who've never left Lamu, they're close-minded, which I also, that's a big statement to make also. You know what I mean? Like,
no, but I get you.
People akuna circumstance, but close-mindedness, that's a big one also. Yeah.
You know, you said about wanafunzi, you talked about wanafunzi wakitoka, they end up becoming better.
Right, yeah.
I think it is tied with close-mindedness. If you go out, there is a poet that said, if you learn, you'll know, but if you travel, you'll know more.
Right, yeah.
There's a famous, I think it's...
Ninani?
Khayyam, or I'm not sure.
Okay, one of the mystics, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
He said, if you, that's what he said. So I feel like this close-mindedness comes from people just being within Lamu. The people who don't want to go out, see the world in a different eye, different perspective. I feel like you'll come back to Lamu and you view it differently. I feel like Lamu has actually influenced you in how you're going to view back home now.
Exactly, undoubtedly. Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
To the point, mimi nachukia kwenda home. Nachukia, yeah. It has influence. Asante, it has influence.
We can host you, no worries.
Asante, take me in Kenyan citizenship.
So, enough with the problem.
Enough with the problem. So,
okay, let's talk about the good things that you've seen in
exactly.
Lamu. This may not be the research perspective, like your personal intake about the good things you've seen in Lamu.
My personal I think the most important one, because I'm a social person and I like yapping. Yeah, exactly. 2 yappers in one interview.
Wait, there's this joke. I'm gonna tell you, sorry. There's this joke. Someone said there was a guy who was like, he wanted a lift. And then the other one gave the lift. And then akamwambia, the one who was given lift was like, I am a serial killer. And then the guy driving was like, what are the chances to have 2 serial killers in one?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Sasa, what are the chances of 2 yappers?
I mean,
2 yappers in one podcast. So for me personally, because I'm such a yapper, and it's sometimes to the point that I need to like shut up, but I can't. But in that sense, being in the first things I've noticed in Lamu when I first came about 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, I think, is the way people will talk to you. The greeting process is longer, and it's significantly longer. There's more ways to say how are you, and then imagine in a language such as English, it's very how are you, basi, that's it. But then huku, there's more. Because people care more, they want to know more. It's you talk more, you still have very human interactions.
Oh, that's
Kuliko, let me tell you, because let's not romanticize Ulaya sasa. Kuliko mimi nikienda out sawa, naeza endelea na siku yangu, siku nzima, bila ongea na mtu. I can do my shopping, I can do cooking, I can do outside, I can take the tram, the bus, blah, blah, all of that. without talking to anyone. Kapsa, kapsa, kapsa.
Yeah, it's lonely.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
lonely.
It can
That's
be
very
very lonely. And that's, but then maybe that's also city life at the same time.
Yeah.
Yani. But that is the big difference between
Ulaya.
Kwango and exactly and here in Lamu. So that was really good for me. Yeah, just that and the hospitality, kukaribishwa, yani food.
Msichana anapenda kula. Okay.
And then the environment. Yani, it was Lamu who first made me very relaxed. Not in the hippie yoga spiritual way,
Yeah.
sawa poleni, because mimi spend hiyo vitu, sawa.
Yeah.
I'm a hater kidogo, sawa. But
No, you are a
we can cut that one out.
No, you are a truther.
I'm a truther.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not on like a crazy spiritual way, but coming to Lamu and then eating food from here and just more organic, more natural. It was very good for my everything.
Oh, that's nice.
And like I got to come down from the insane city life that's there in Ulaya.
Imekurelaxisha, like
Exactly.
it comes.
Exactly.
Even me, I did the shift from Nairobi to Lamu, and I've seen that change.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, tell me what else.
Oh, sawa, what else? Bado experiences yangu, sinio?
Yeah, not from the research.
Okay,
Like,
just me. I think, and then also because I was doing some Swahili in school also before I came. So I got some basic Swahili, like basic, just Nina, Mimi, ni, blah, blah, blah. Mima, exactly. Mimi, Nina, Taka, Kukuja, I guess, I don't know, Kuja. It was a Zanzibar, like a Mwalimu who did mostly Zanzibari Swahili, let's say. Ama Sarifu, I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, I came with that basic Swahili set, and then everyone was like, why are you guys talking so sanifu, sijui, mumetoka wapi, mumetoka Zanzibar, like what's happening here? And we're like, we don't know anything, naomba, yeah. And we don't know anything. But then that language to this day, yani, it's something I do every day. Like I still love it. I still love learning. I learn new things every day. Like at this point, my Swahili from now versus then completely different. Okay, wow, ukimuuliza mtu, it's they can tell you when you first came it was una mimi ninataka una but now it's I feel like it's a bit more coast. It's just a bit more coast. It's exactly,
Yeah.
So that's really nice. Yomi, exactly. Yomi where?
Okay.
No, so that language, and then the thing is, when I go home and I stop hearing Swahili around me all the time, it's sad for me.
It goes.
It's sad, yeah. And it's still there, but then nikirudi, it will take some time for me to get used to it again. But for me, it's the feeling of hearing Swahili around me constantly that makes me happy in Lamu. Yeah, really maybe a nerdy thing to say, but I just love the language. Yeah. Music, read Tarab, shout out, Selelea.
Give us a snippet.
Gani ni kumbatie.
Oh, that's good.
And then I guess it's about, that's the thing with Swahili, right? Why it's such an interesting language is, and we have the same in Turkish and Kurdish, like we have, because there's more context, there's more, it's less direct. Like in my communication style, because I was born in the Netherlands, it's very direct. So that's my standard Yango Hibi. But then the Swahili languages, you can say so many things. Chinyamaji, you can say so many things like not direct, but you'll still get it. Eventually you'll get my point. Ama, you'll get that I'm roasting you. So it's like, and again, that roasting part, I think my theory, I don't know if this is true, but I think it goes back to the poetry thing also. Because people are able to do that, be on the spot, right? You have your opponent, and with your words, utamshinda yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, so we've now known what you view Lamu as, like it's something, it's like a safe haven for you.
Yeah.
So what are the youth saying about Lamu?
Also, yeah, and a lot of good things, right? So then after that problem question, I would go to good things, and then it's like very similar to the way I would talk about Lamu. Also, is like the sea, the nature, mazingira,
tell me about it.
The hospitality, kukaribisha tena, the community, the smaller, like the close-knit community, a tighter community that you are getting into, that you are raised in. That's really nice. Good things, again, how much Lamu youth wako na talents, wako na intelligence, wako na akili. That one I hear a lot.
We really do.
Mashallah, tuseme mashallah. Culture in general, I would say, and then architecture, but then we can put that under environment. Amanini, like the way it looks. And then a big one tying into culture and tradition is like the Hafid level, the Islam knowledge that Lamu kids have from a very young age.
True.
Yeah. So a lot of, in Turkish we call it Hafiz.
Yeah, even here, Hafiz.
Yeah, okay.
People who have
exactly
memorized the Quran.
So
the number is like, we have a big number.
A very high number.
In every village, you wouldn't miss around 5 at least.
Yeah, exactly. And then during Maulidi, they would...
you are here around
Maulidi, I was here, yeah. First time round, second time Sahih, I was also Maulidi.
Oh, nice.
2022 and 24. But in our Maulidi at which mosque again do they read out the new Hafiz? Riyadh, yeah, right? Like they call them, they're like, these are the new graduates.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I was there, I was listening.
Yeah, and I love that we congratulate them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not something that you are done,
Exactly.
So it encourages others to want to.
Yeah, it's like a thing, like you'll get to it. Yeah, that's very good. It is encouraging.
Yeah.
No, and also a good thing for Maendeleo, let's say at a larger scale, is how many natural products Lamu has that you can actually, that are worth so much insane money in like other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would be told coconuts, cashews, simsim, seaweed, even I think seaweed, like sea moss, all of that stuff. The fish in general, that you can make like an insane amount of products with, right? Ideally. So then that's also where the ideas come in.
Okay, wait. What are the ideas that they've told you, Lakini?
Okay, so the ideas that then...
Or if, for example, you want to have this, let me leave it to the last question. Tell me the ideas first. Okay,
so the ideas are like... one I've heard a lot is let's put more effort into creating... But I have the hiccups. The factories, some ways to produce and to create and to like export, like these products that we have.
Yeah.
Because there is other people, let's say who know it's there and who can make those factories, those products, basically extracting it from Lamu, let's say, and then you can make your money, right? But then obviously what youth want for Lamu and Yewe is, why don't we use our products that we have, and then there's so much job opportunity there also, like there's so much. So some of these, so a lot of the ideas I would hear in factories, coconuts, cashews, all the products. From fish you can make so many things.
Yeah, tuna.
Nyingine ni a very big part ni IT and digital skills.
Yeah,
Sasa.
true.
Yeah. And that was one of the problems also actually, Msija, I don't think I mentioned it, but the IT and digital skills, yani wanasikia kama wako nyuma in this regard, whereas everyone can see we're moving towards a digital, exactly.
Yeah. True.
So an idea ni IT hubs, we teach people for free, like there should be more
yeah, I get you.
Just more digital skills.
The world is going to IT, Sasa. Yeah.
Exactly. Ningine about education, different types of fundings, improving education. That's a standard one. And then again, going back to talent scouting, we make way for talent scouting somehow. Yeah. We bring scouts, scouts come here, that's something I hear a lot. And then
and it's possible, yani.
It's very possible, yeah, exactly. It's not even like, that's a crazy idea, it's just, yeah. Another thing is activities, like more entertainment in general, like not like my clubs, but like, more like actual entertainment spots, like activities. I think you were also one of the persons who said it. It was a bit like too funny. I don't know.
Bowling.
A park, a bowling, whatever. Like hata cinema, sijui.
Yeah, we could, because you know back in the early 2000s, there was Costa Rica, there was Zinji. But can we bring the standards of Cinemax to Lamu? Can we have like a real Cinemax?
Exactly.
Like IMAX. We need to have this, because there are movies that only come, like there movies nyingine ni nzuri uangalie Cinemax with 3D glasses. You get? So personally, I traveled for Gladiator 2.
Oh, you traveled.
I had to plan my schedule so that I get to see Gladiator 2 in Nairobi.
Wow, exactly.
And if, for example, Iko hapa would have been something very, you get?
Easy peasy.
Yeah. Pia ni another thing youth wise apata kazi from.
Exactly. And it's also, I feel like films and music in general is a loved thing by Lamu youth. Like it's...
True.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So like we get someone to invest in such. Yeah, it's something like, it's something lacking hapa. It is lacking. Yeah.
Exactly. Ningine. Well, and then some of the ideas are just to really put it plainly, is just modernization.
Okay.
Right? And then but then Lamu iko na UNESCO. So then how does the modernization, and then also going back to the factories, modernization, the bridge, the factories, how does that impact the Lamu environment, and how does that impact fishermen, and how does that Wanilewa? So that is an idea that youth want, that the way they tell me, but then at the same time they also want to preserve and protect. Like also that one is still there, like preserve and protect our culture, architecture, the way it looks, the sea. So that's a difficult thing. No.
Okay, so Dubai, there is this, there is New Dubai, and then there is Bar Dubai. Like, I don't know, Bar something.
Bar Dubai?
Like old Dubai.
Oh, okay.
So the old Dubai, they reserved the how the houses are, like how the streets, and then the New Dubai is where the Burj Khalifa is.
Right.
So I feel like we can have both. If we use a good quality, I don't know, we could have both.
Yeah. But you think yawezekana?
I do think yawezekana.
Ama do you think ni lazima?
Si lazima.
Oh, okay.
But yawezekana. Yeah, we could stay hivi because Omani decided to stay reserve, and they're making money.
Exactly.
Like it's possible.
It is.
Yeah, it's an idea wise exercise, but haina lazima. Yeah.
Sawa.
So anything for my viewers you want to share?
Anything for the viewers?
Where they'll find the research once ikitoka?
Once ikitoka, I'll try to make it public, most probably.
Okay.
I will let Hindu know about that,
No.
inshallah, in the future. So I need to finish it like May of this
Yeah.
year, inshallah,
Okay.
inshallah. But I love Lamu.
Okay.
I want to
Aw.
thank all the Lamu youth I was able to speak to. Wallahi, obviously to share with me so many things. It's really,
Yeah.
how do you say? It's an honor as a researcher to get that from your people. Yani, at your people. I'm acting like I'm Menyeji. Sawa, I'm acting like I'm Menyeji Kapsa. But no,
claimed
just
you.
sawa. Yani, I hope your viewers, I hope watani
Yeah.
claim. Come on, wani jui.
You know the Beleza.
Exactly.
Claimed you. Yeah.
No, just want to thank everyone I spoke to. It's so it's just an honor, wallahi. It's just an honor, and it's just no matter how much Lamu youth can criticize Lamu, the love they have for Lamu is
Tell me about it.
exactly
Exceeds.
infinite. Exactly,
Yeah,
it's
true.
uncomparable. And also everyone knows at the same time, as much as people want to complain about Lamu, everyone knows at the same time it's a unique place.
Yeah.
There is no place like Lamu Coast. It doesn't matter. It's just Lamu.
Thank you.
Karibu. Exactly, right? Like everyone knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's special.
It's very special.
That's so nice. We are so glad to have you with us. Wallahi. I also appreciate that you've had your time. I know you are on a very tight schedule, but you found time and you came, and I'm really honored. Wallahi.
Asante, no,
This
Hindu,
Hot
mimi
Stories
zaidi.
podcast. I'm
Hata
really,
mimi zaidi.
yeah.
Shukran.
So thank you for listening till the end of the show. From your lovely host Hindu Hussein with the guest Ayla. Sorry.
Blooper.
Yeah. Thank you for listening till the end of the show from your lovely host Hindu Hussein and our lovely guest Ayla Noor. All the way from Europe, guys, Netherlands and Turkey. All the way from there to Lamu. We are so glad you got to enjoy the podcast. And stay tuned for more amazing content coming your way. Salut!